The Middle East, a region where civilization began, has a tumultuous history. European powers drew arbitrary borders without considering the people who lived there. As the 1930s approached, the young superpower, the US, sought oil to maintain its strength. Initially, the US had minimal presence in the Middle East. All changed when an American company decided to explore Saudi Arabia's vast deserts for oil. With royal permission, they struck oil in 1938, sparking a flood of US employees. These explorers established small communities in Saudi Arabia, resembling American towns. This intrusion angered many locals, as the Americans indulged in behaviors forbidden by the strict Saudi culture. As oil production increased, the US proposed military support to protect their interests, and the royal family agreed, allowing the establishment of a military base, albeit without US flags on Saudi soil. By the 1950s, with $40 oil, the US aimed to counter the growing influence of the Soviet Union, staging a coup to install a more favorable leader in Iran. Simultaneously, the newly formed State of Israel became a US ally. The American support for Israel led to backlash from other Middle Eastern nations, creating regional tensions. These tensions culminated in conflicts and crises that defined US involvement. In the 1970s, as Osama bin Laden grew up amidst this turmoil, he became increasingly disillusioned with the Saudi government for its collaboration with the US. He sought to oppose foreign influence in the Middle East, leading to the formation of al-Qaeda. As conflicts raged due to tensions with Saddam Hussein, the US intervened in Iraq, solidifying its presence in the region. This extensive military involvement, initially welcomed for its protective nature, eventually led to long-term discontent among locals who resisted foreign control. As we explore the layered history of US involvement in the Middle East, understand that it is not merely about oil. The complexities of foreign policy and military strategy intertwine, shaping the region's fate. Stay informed and engage in discussions about the intricacies of Middle Eastern politics and US foreign policy. Each story connects to a larger narrative that continues to unfold. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful content like this. The influx of American workers transformed parts of Saudi Arabia, introducing modern conveniences and lifestyles that stood in stark contrast to the traditional way of life. Cafes filled with laughter echoed against the backdrop of desert sunsets, and the aroma of hamburgers replaced local delicacies. However, this cultural collision sparked a faint whisper of dissent among the locals, as some viewed these developments as an erosion of their customs. As tensions simmered beneath the surface, Saudi leaders found themselves in a delicate balancing act, trying to appease their new guests while maintaining the sanctity of their cultural identity. The complex dynamics of power and influence set the stage for the conflicts to come. In this charged atmosphere, whispers of resistance began to circulate among the more traditional factions within Saudi society. Local leaders, once confident in their authority, started to grapple with the cultural upheaval as they witnessed the erosion of long-standing customs and practices that had shaped their identity for generations. Meanwhile, American executives continued to push for further integration of their lifestyle, desiring to replicate the comforts of home within the sandy expanses. This push, however, only deepened the rift between the two cultures, making the prospect of harmonious coexistence seem increasingly distant as both sides braced for what was to come. As the discontent grew, small gatherings began to take shape, where local leaders and intellectuals exchanged ideas and strategies on how to address the looming crisis. They discussed the encroachment of foreign influences as a threat to their heritage and even entertained the idea of revitalizing traditional practices as a form of resistance. The impact of American interests in the region extended beyond economics. It sparked a fire of nationalism among certain groups. With each conversation, a deeper understanding of the need for unity emerged, fostering a collective effort to safeguard their identity, culture, and way of life. Ultimately, these meetings would lay the groundwork for the emergence of more organized movements that would soon challenge the status quo. Amid this rising tide of nationalism, the young educated elite began to view themselves as the torchbearers of their people's values. They organized forums to raise awareness about the detrimental effects of foreign encroachment, championing literature, art, and even the wisdom of past leaders who had once united their people against oppressive forces. As they shared their perspectives, a new sense of pride emerged, reminding their communities of a glorious history long overshadowed by the looming presence of American influence. Empowered by their discussions, these emerging leaders envisioned a future where their heritage could thrive, transforming discontent into a unifying movement that sought to reclaim their identity. While rallies in the streets showcased their increasing unity, the U.S. government remained largely oblivious to this wave of resistance, focused instead on oil profits and securing its foothold in the region. As dissent festered and unity grew among the locals, the complex web of U.S. involvement became evident. Both bewildered and resolute, they knew that their fate would hinge on the actions of their leaders, as well as the shadows cast by foreign powers seeking control.